Hello! Welcome to another episode of the Hellomamsir show. I'm your favorite Tito Efe. Sorry.
It's on mute. Tito
Sorry.
It's okay, bro. Tito Daryl is here.
Tita Luis.
Tita Jaja.
And for today's episode,
So special.
it's very special.
Very
Very.
With an F. Special.
Facial.
Yes, of course.
And this episode we will speak English.
English all
Yes.
throughout of the episode. It's
Wow.
episode number 48.
We're
Gosh, guys.
progressing.
Yeah,
48.
progressing.
Definitely.
E and F defect, huh? So for today's episode, we have a very special guest because we have a very special episode for today. Our very special guest, Miss Evgenia Gitsis.
Привет всем!
Woo!
Hi everyone! Thanks guys
Hi,
having me.
Evgenia.
Hello, welcome to the
Hello.
show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Hellomamsir show. Thank you for guesting on our
Thanks for your
Episode.
time.
yeah. So pardon for our English because our English is very not good.
Not too much.
Limited.
Minimal.
Limited. Yeah.
No, I bring
20
you.
words.
Minimum.
20 words per person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 100 words.
Yeah, the same with my
100
Per
words
day.
combined.
Yeah. So for today's episode, this is a recurring episode for the
This is gonna be
Hellomamsir,
yeah.
because it's going to be our cultural exchange series.
Yes.
And this is going to be this is the first one, right?
This
Like
will be
for
the start of this series. Our guest will talk about where she's from. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm from Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, huh?
And I'm happy to be the first guest here in this series. So I'm from Russia and I was born and raised in Novosibirsk. It's the capital of Siberia. Maybe you know this
Yes.
No.
this word?
No.
Siberia.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Familiar with
I
Siberia.
think Tito Luis is very familiar.
Yes,
Yes,
Tito Luis,
Yeah.
you're familiar, huh?
Tell us more about
Tito Luis, tell us more about it.
Okay, tell us.
Siberia is a country.
Okay,
No.
so yeah.
No,
Tell
actually,
us.
Siberia it's not a country.
Oh.
It's a region in Russia, and it's quite big region. And the capital city is called Novosibirsk. So I'm from Novosibirsk.
Novosibirsk.
But whenever
Novosibirsk.
whenever we hear Siberia, it's all about snow. It's all about
Yeah.
cold. It's all about freezing.
Yeah, sometimes people confuse Siberia and Serbia. And,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, is it the same?
unfortunately,
We learned
it's
something new
different.
today.
So Siberia, it's
Uh.
not Serbia, and it's not that cold.
It's not.
It's not
It's not
that
that
cold. Yeah.
What is the lowest temperature in Siberia?
I don't know, maybe in my experience, I think maybe minus 40. So it's not that cold, right?
4-0.
Minus.
Right?
Minus
Celsius.
40.
Minus
Mine,
40.
okay.
Yeah.
So like here it's plus 40. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same,
Today it
but,
was 42. So.
So it's the same but opposite.
Minus 40. But how does it? What is the? How do you tolerate this cold compared to, for example, to -1 or just 0 degree?
You know, actually it's quite easier to handle this temperature, even easier than plus 40 here.
And the heat.
Yeah,
Ah,
because
really?
it's
Oh, yeah.
it's so dry. It's even pleasant, you know.
How many layers do you have to wear though? For
Yeah,
Right?
that's all right. It's all about
have to, like,
layers
layer
because
everything.
experienced people they wear more layers.
Mm.
So it means if you wear more layers, you are so it's warm.
Mm.
Are you
Is
experienced?
But who has who?
Yeah, but I've only experienced -5. That was it, and I was dying.
Which country?
Can't. I went to France.
Oh.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
So I can't imagine -40.
Yeah.
What- what-
minus 2.
What about
Yeah.
you? What about you, Daryl?
-2.
-2. Epi?
And
Minus minus. In our room, just yeah, minus only.
There's-
Yeah.
No, I've experienced -10.
-10?
Yeah,
Oh,
minus
wow.
10.
Minus 10?
Wow.
Yeah.
In Siberia?
Where?
Where? In Serbia.
Somewhere.
Spill the
Somewhere.
beans.
I have a question for Genia.
Yeah.
Please.
Does
Where is
Russian
Because-
Russian people
because of
drink
the mask, I don't know.
drink
Yeah.
vodka too?
Vodka.
Why is it always related to vodka?
Yeah, is it for the
I don't know. Maybe it's kind of tradition.
to make it warm?
Yeah, it's like some association. Yeah, vodka, Russia. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I
So
don't know.
everyone drinks vodka like
Yeah,
you?
of course.
You also you.
should try
Yeah.
gin.
we get up in
Gin
the morning
bulag.
and we start
Yeah.
drinking vodka. So
Hmm.
that's all about vodka in Russia.
No, for
Yeah.
real?
Of course
Like
not.
for you, for you personally, when you go out for drinks, do you prefer vodka even though?
Or is this it's just vodka is just water for you guys or what?
It's interesting in Russia. It's prohibited to make commercial
Ah.
of vodka.
Okay.
Okay.
So people remove this K
Yeah.
and they
Voda?
Yeah, they
Oh,
they
really?
announce it like voda.
Vodka.
Oh,
But
wow, it's
everyone
interesting.
understands like
Uh-huh.
it's
Ah.
about vodka.
Are you talking about like TV commercials and
Yeah, exactly.
In advertising.
So the
Commercials
advertisement.
and billboards.
Billboards,
in the
yeah.
streets.
Yeah, that's
Seriously?
nice.
Until
Yeah,
now?
voda,
So
because
it's still a picture of the drink,
yeah.
but instead of
Okay.
putting vodka
Yeah, but
without
on
the
the
K.
bottle it's voda.
But
Oh,
what?
wow.
But voda it's water, yeah?
Ah, no.
Yeah, voda it's water in Russian.
Ah.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a play on words.
Yeah,
Play on words.
exactly.
So they just add K and you get drunk.
Yes. So
Plus
yeah,
40
because of
degrees
K,
and you-
But why is it prohibited? I
Galing
mean,
nun.
everyone is.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, because it's alcohol, so it's prohibited because people get I don't know because
people get drunk.
It's tragedy. Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
Ah, yeah, the usual.
Unfortunately. Yeah, because
Usual
in
accidents.
Russia, I think so. Maybe most people they cannot drink properly because they cannot stop.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They cannot
Yeah.
control.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about to stop in time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Mm.
Okay.
So
now
this
what
is the
it?
reason why they had to do this trick about these letters to control the people of drinking and.
That's the reason why it's prohibited, right? Because alcohol it's not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But for
That's
us in
why
the
it's
for us in the Philippines,
Is it not good? Oh, it's sorry.
no, for us in the Philippines, we don't
Yeah.
we don't do those things, right? We just
Yeah,
You don't-
because
you
it's
don't
legal.
remove- you don't remove
As
K
long as
or
you're
what?
18 years old.
you don't remove the
above.
K.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
remove the K, really?
There's a lot
Exactly.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of advertisements for
Yeah.
alcohol.
So for us, for people who doesn't know what is where is Siberia and what is like life there, could you like explain like what's
know,
the
I don't know.
we're like dumb people like me. I don't know. I don't know anything about
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about you growing up
Yeah.
there. What's
Um,
the
Yeah, maybe we can relate to it or something.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Okay. Actually, I have so much information to tell, but
Yeah, we have like 4 hours of for this episode. We have 4 hours.
but I will try to be. So, it, some words about the Siberia. Yeah.
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 It's not that cold as I told you, and
It's minus 40. It's cold.
yeah, but it's different. Like for example, if you are in Moscow,
Yes.
the same minus 40, and you feel different.
Why?
Yeah, because of the climate, because it's drier in Novosibirsk.
Oh no,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
can breathe.
No, you know why?
please.
I can relate to it. When I went to St. Petersburg,
Why are you
Why
there?
were you there?
Yeah.
I
Why were you there?
I was just passing
about
by.
your
No,
experience in St. Petersburg.
I was
Okay.
passing
What
by.
went down?
No,
Okay.
just passing by. I don't know, just
Okay.
randomly.
Yeah.
So
it's
no,
more
Okay.
interesting.
yeah, in St. Petersburg, it was really cold for the because
Yeah.
of the wind.
Okay.
It was
Exactly.
so windy and it's crazy. Like
Yeah,
you're
it
gonna
goes
die.
like inside.
Yeah.
Uh,
Compared to when I went to Siberia, it was okay. It was tolerable.
So
Yeah.
you're also in Siberia.
Yeah. Why were you?
Why were you in
How come?
Siberia?
Interesting.
No, I was dreaming.
Okay.
Okay.
No, so that's the difference because when it's drier, there's no like same here. Like, there's no
Yeah.
humidity and there's
Yeah.
dry,
Exactly.
so you don't feel this whole into your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
why on like all of the weather apps they put the real like 40 degrees,
The
but
real
it feels
feel.
But feels like, oh,
52
yeah.
or
Yeah.
Exactly.
whatever, depending on
That's
the
right,
humidity
right,
level.
Do they do
Actually,
that here in Dubai?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Depending.
So
40
Especially-
degrees, but feels like
Today,
hell.
today.
feels like 70.
True,
Oh
actually.
my God.
Can you continue about
Yeah, about
Siberia?
Novosibirsk,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a couple of words. It's interesting for me, of course.
Yeah.
It's the third city in Russia. I mean, the population. So
The third
it's quite
biggest.
big.
Okay.
If you know something about Russia, it's such a huge country, yeah, and
Yes.
it's thousands of kilometers.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How far is it from Moscow?
from Moscow, mm, by by air, it's 4 hours.
Oh wow.
Oh.
4
So it's
hours.
3,000
yeah.
kilometers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Or by train,
is
as I
far.
remember, it's like three
Uh-huh.
days.
By
3
train.
days
Yeah,
by
by
train. So
train.
that's really
So
far.
it's so romantic.
How many
Oh, yeah.
kilometers per hour the train is? Like
Oh my God.
10 kilometers.
Tito Luis, have you been
Yeah.
have you been traveling
I'm not the guest.
with the train
I'm not the guest.
in Siberia? That's why it was romantic.
No, I was just dreaming, I
Okay.
don't know.
Ah, okay.
Ah, dreams come true in
Yes,
Siberia.
yes.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But when Tito Luis came to Siberia, did it become became more warmer because Tito Luis was there already? Or what? Like, how was the?
How far is Siberia from here to Dubai?
Oh,
By plane?
maybe by plane. Maybe 6 hours, maybe 5, like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if we fly directly,
Mhm.
not from Moscow,
Mhm.
but directly. So I think it's like 5 hours.
Okay.
So it's not that far.
And if you compare the people, the life, and
It's
in
interesting.
in Moscow and Siberia or Novosibirsk.
You know, so as I told you, it's such a big country, and the capital city is Moscow, as you know, and Russia is very centralized. Can I say like?
Okay.
Yeah, centralized country, and in Russia, it's all about Moscow. So all money are in Moscow,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
So the whole country is forgotten, excluding Moscow.
yeah. Unfortunately, in Moscow there are 5 airports. Imagine.
Wow.
Compared to Novosibirsk, it's only one, of course. And the second city is St. Petersburg. It's also only one airport. So, you know, Moscow, it's like Vatican. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
country
The
in
hub.
country.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Country in a
So,
country. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
About Novosibirsk, I like people in Novosibirsk. I like Siberian people because we are so warm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
see.
we live in cold weather. Yeah, but we are warm inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
good.
okay, yeah. Can you tell like you grew up in USSR time, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Huh?
Yeah.
The difference between
Yeah,
before and
yeah.
now.
Soviet Union
yeah,
time
I
era.
should say that I'm 36 years old. So
Oh, wow.
and yeah, it's on purpose. I said it on purpose because I was born in the USSR,
Mm-hmm.
and
Which year is this Soviet Union?
Yeah, for people who doesn't know like the whole history of USSR, can you like imagine? I mean like explain like
yeah,
briefly
the
explain it.
Soviet Union. It was you know, it was like different planet. It was separate.
Country. Oh, planet.
The
idea.
figuratively, yeah.
Ah.
So it was separated by the rest of the world, and
Yeah.
we were, and the Iron Curtain existed, as
Yes.
you know what it
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
Mm.
So we were separated. We were, so we existed.
Separated to the whole country.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the
No,
whole,
no, no,
the
to
whole world.
The whole
Yeah.
world.
Yes,
So
exactly.
No trade. No.
So it was maybe kind of prohibited to listen to the music. Not
Yeah.
prohibited, but we didn't know about it.
To learn
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
other
so
culture.
we were growing only with this ideology,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Soviet ideology. So and people say that all people who were born in the Soviet Union, they all have like this specialty, this trauma, so
Trauma,
called
yeah.
trauma.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because it's deep inside,
Yeah.
and it's impossible just to forget about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
yeah, of
Soviet
course.
Union
Yeah.
doesn't exist, but anyway, we are all
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally, we are all from
Mhm,
there.
mhm, mhm.
And especially our parents.
Uh-huh.
So you told us about the music. How do you get your like? Have you ever experienced Western music?
Yeah,
Like-
Yeah,
just
actually,
imagine
Yeah.
we existed separately, and we didn't know like I didn't know anything about the
Yeah.
world
Uh-huh.
around,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because my world was my city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm from the military family, and my father,
Mhm.
Oh.
he used to be military.
Luis,
Mm.
military family.
Huh?
Okay, so the music is like
Yeah, and we didn't know so much about music.
They have
so-
MTV.
Yeah, and
There
I
is?
remember from my childhood,
Yeah.
because I am the youngest of three sisters, and my eldest sister, she was so progressive for us. Yeah, and she found she found one hidden channel
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
called
wow.
MTV.
Oh man.
Yo, okay.
Oh
Wow.
my god, it was
She hacked into it.
maybe so.
But this is not allowed.
No, it was not allowed. It
Oh
was
my
hidden.
God.
It was like secret.
Not
How
allowed
did she
to-
get into it? That's the
Yeah.
question.
So
I
how
don't
was the
know.
experience of like
Seeing
seeing
it
the
for
first like
time.
a music video of
Yeah,
like
and imagine she recorded on the
No way.
VHS.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember Depeche Mode. I remember
Depeche Mode.
wow.
Prince. I remember it
Prince.
was like a revolution.
Yeah.
that's so
For
nice.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
and
But this is not allowed.
it wasn't allowed.
Wasn't allowed.
Mm.
Were your
But it
parents
was.
aware of it?
Huh?
Were your parents aware of it?
I think our parents, they supported us.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice, yeah.
because yes, and it was interesting because we got to know about these things, about music, about
Yeah.
fashion.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, from these sources, from these secret
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
sources. So it was like spy. We were spies.
Yeah.
Hacker.
MTV Spies.
Do you remember how old you were during these times when
Yeah.
your sister would tape some
I don't
music
know, maybe
videos?
6, 7 years.
Oh, very
Wow,
young.
very young.
Very young.
Yeah,
You-
and
you-
I'm so lucky to have my eldest sisters.
Yeah.
Because I got these things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you
That's so
remember?
good.
They paved the way, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned one time when we were walking around somewhere in Dubai that we saw someone. We saw someone who has this thing on the like a scar on the shoulder, the
yeah,
lower
Scar?
shoulder.
they-
Scar. Can you
Scar.
can you explain more about
kind
it?
of scar.
Okay.
So when I remember it was like Lulu. Yeah.
Okay.
And I noticed one woman.
Mhm.
She looked Asian, but she had these spots.
Scar.
Yeah.
Scar.
Can I
Yeah.
Scar.
Yeah, and I recognized it like vaccination because every Soviet person.
Yeah, and this isn't related with the Soviet Union
Yeah,
era.
exactly,
Okay.
and before maybe some years ago, I heard about this specialty. Like people recognize each other by this
By the
by
scar.
this
Oh,
spot.
Is it
okay.
a vaccination?
Is it
So
a
it's-
very specific scar
Um,
or
No, because
I
it's
don't know
big.
how specific for me, it's not like normal.
yeah?
It's like it goes big. Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe when
Spheroidal.
when I'm 60
Yeah,
it
spheroidal.
will be bigger, but now it's okay. But anyway, only Soviet people have these scars,
Scar.
and we can recognize
Yeah.
each other. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly.
You're from.
So she was from, as I remember, she was from Uzbekistan. This
Mhm.
woman,
Oh.
Uh-huh.
and we talked just a bit. It was
Yeah.
it was funny, and she
That's
asked
nice.
me like, "How did you recognize me?"
Uh-huh.
By this. Oh,
Uh-huh.
it was funny.
So basically, everyone knows that you belong to the
Um,
Soviet Union when you see someone like this.
It's of course it's not like cheap, but anyway, it's all about vaccination.
Yeah.
Now people, as I know, parents they some of them they don't want to vaccinate
Children.
their kids.
Mm.
But we,
So
but
now it's-
we have this vaccination, remember?
Yeah,
right?
we have it.
We have
Yeah,
it when we
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
But
yes.
Yes.
We also
where?
have.
Also here?
No, in the
Yeah.
butt.
It just fades.
In
For
the
us,
butt.
for us on the arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's on the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it fades out like
But I
when,
don't
when
have
you
the scar,
when you
yeah.
when
You don't
grow
have it,
old.
really?
Yeah, fades out.
I would show
I
you,
don't.
but,
I actually don't have
okay.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like some of my friends from school growing up have.
Yeah.
Ah, really?
My
Exactly.
crying child has one.
It depends on
Has a
the
scar.
reaction
Yes,
of the
yes,
skin,
yes,
I
yes.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends on.
Yeah.
And we have two, as I remember, two.
Mm.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's why it gets bigger.
I don't-
Ah.
Actually, I want to ask Zhenya, how old were you during the time when Soviet Union was dissolved, and how did that change your like
Yeah,
the
perspective.
lifestyle
Yes.
and
Especially, she mentioned that her father is from the military.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was military. Yeah, you know, it was. As I remember, I was a child. Yeah, I was a kid. I was 6, 7 years
Yeah.
old. But it was so hard period in our life. I remember because like everything like falls down
Mm.
and we don't know what to do next. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so what should we do now? Okay,
Mm.
where are we? What
Uh-huh.
should we do? Who are we? So a lot of questions.
Wow,
and
that's a very deep question. Who
yeah,
are
and-
we?
And I remember my parents. It's not only about like emotions. Yeah, it was hard emotionally, but also it was financially.
Financially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Economy.
Yeah, for my parents. And I remember when it was no food in the shops.
Oh.
Food
And my
shortage.
mom, I remember my mom because it was we had a big family, yeah,
Yeah.
three kids and
Yeah.
two parents. I think one dog and one cat.
Uh-huh.
Such a big family.
Yeah.
And my mom, she baked bread because we didn't have money to
buy. Okay.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so it was so controversial. Can I say like this controversial time because people didn't know how to deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and
But when you were in this age, do you fully like understand?
Understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
of course no.
Of course, no,
Mm.
right?
Of course, no.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
moved to. So first we lived in this military campus, and it was so small, like just imagine 2 buildings and around 200 people.
What is this military campus? It's like you're or in
In
close area.
Yeah, it's in the forest. It's located in the forest, and it's just forest around, and some military people and us, military families
Wow.
of
Yes.
these military men.
Yeah.
Would you have shops around you?
No, not at all. Only
Oh,
30,
bakala, no?
only
Oh,
30
bakala.
kilometers.
So you have to drive out.
So this is
from,
But yeah,
so this is
exactly.
forest.
Yeah, this is exactly. This
Oh,
is
man.
forest.
So there's bears.
No,
No.
no. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, but
they
Siberia
were
is bear.
full of bears, not people. But
So this
no, I
was when
didn't
you were
see-
young, like 6, 7.
We bear
So-
bears.
So how
We
would
bear
you?
bears.
Would you? Of course, you'd have your friends. How would you guys play around? Like, are you able to
Oh.
get out of the building or
Yeah, yeah.
just?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was we were growing up outside the building. Of course, not
Yeah.
inside, but outdoor. We have a lot
Yeah.
of outdoor activities.
Outdoor games and
Yeah, and we.
wow.
I think I'm so lucky to have this childhood.
Mm.
Yeah.
This possibility.
This
yeah.
is very similar when we were growing up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
all about outdoors.
And,
Yeah.
it was so safe. It was not dangerous at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we were surrounded by the forest.
What about the bears?
Keep on insisting on the bears, man.
What's
No, because Siberia is famous for bears.
Yeah, but I've seen only maybe several times in the zoo.
Really?
In
Yeah.
the zoo.
Not even in the wild.
My
So
God.
good to remember because we have the
Pet
for
bear?
me, it's the best zoo in
Ah.
Novosibirsk.
Oh wow.
Have you been there?
Huh?
So,
Yeah, no, because when we went there, they have this bear.
Who are you with? Oh my God, oh my God. Who are you
I
with?
don't know. I don't know.
Let's talk
I don't know
about-
Oh my
anything
God,
about
my friend,
No, when we went to this Novosibirsk zoo,
zoo. Do you
there
remember
were
these white bears?
there was 3 white polar bears.
Mhm.
Ah,
it's-
polar bears, huh?
They're big, like the
Yeah,
like
like three people.
yeah, like 3 people
way.
stack up.
How big is the person though? Like 4 feet or like it depends, man. If the person is like 6 feet, so 3, 6 times 18 feet.
Where is the calculator? Okay, so
Depends.
so Siberia is all about good, warm people, and it's all about beautiful nature.
Yeah.
It's a picture of beauty, and I'm proud of Siberia
Yeah.
exactly because we have a lot of places to like must visit places. Yeah.
So like, how was the move like from Russia to Dubai and
Wow.
like
We
with the weather.
we skipped such a big period of my
yeah
life.
with the weather.
Okay.
You have to go back. And,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you know, from Novosibirsk I moved to St. Petersburg because I was offered a new job within my inside within my company
Yeah.
when I worked for.
Internal movement.
Yeah. So and then maybe all of you knows about St. Petersburg.
Yes.
So it's
yeah.
quite famous.
Only on
Yeah.
in pictures
Yeah.
though.
And it's so it's so like Europe and in Russia because
Yeah,
because
especially-
of the architecture.
Yeah,
Architecture,
especially
yeah.
recently they opened it for
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there, so you can.
for Filipinos.
Yeah,
vouch
for
for-
Filipinos.
Ah, really?
Visa free.
Si Grace,
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah, Grace, huh?
Camera
Operator.
operator.
Camera woman natin ngayon.
Went to
Wow.
St. Petersburg because
Yeah.
now it's
Nice.
open for Filipinos to go there for
Yeah.
10 days.
Ah,
For 10 days.
Yeah,
without
without visa,
Wow,
just
good.
fly.
Mm.
Yeah, only in
Yeah.
St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I would recommend everyone if you need my recommendations.
Yeah.
I would recommend to visit St. Petersburg only in summer because
Summer.
because
Okay.
winters are like
So windy. Yeah,
it's
she
too harsh.
has an
Yeah.
experience.
Too cold.
Ah, you went Christmas.
So it's so windy. It's
Oh, damn.
so
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
It's impossible to handle. So that's why I moved to Moscow from
So
St.
would you
Petersburg.
say that from your hometown, the move would always be either St. Petersburg or Moscow? Because those are like the 2 big cities. So for example, in the
Yeah.
Philippines, everyone wants to move to Manila.
Mm.
Everyone's like,
yeah.
if I want to make it big, I have to move to Manila. So
Yes.
is it the same as well in?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, I'm lucky to have St. Petersburg between Novosibirsk and Moscow. I mean, in my life, because it was like a bridge.
Hmm.
Because Moscow is so big; it's a crazy big city, and it's a capital. So you need to be prepared emotionally
Okay.
to for this life. So that's why. I'm lucky to have St. Petersburg. It was like
Okay.
preparation
Yeah.
for Moscow.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
First
Yeah,
you moved to St.
exactly.
Petersburg
Yeah,
and then to
exactly.
Moscow.
I
Okay.
was offered a job, and then I also again I was offered a new job in Moscow, and for me it was easy to move. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but
Because
Yeah.
you've been prepared, I guess.
I mean,
yeah, maybe.
coming from Siberia and planning to move to Moscow, what were your like expectations? Like, what do people from outside of Moscow think of Moscow? Like, are
Yeah.
the people?
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a good
uh,
question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share
You
any
know,
thoughts?
even-
Yeah.
Yeah, living in Novosibirsk, for example, my parents, they live in Novosibirsk, and they have different view,
Yes.
different opinion about Moscow.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know. I don't want to ruin our conversation, but in Russia, it's a lot of propaganda, and unfortunately, like don't go to Moscow because it's
Blah, blah,
such
blah,
a
yeah.
dangerous city.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For example,
Uh-huh.
people in Novosibirsk, they
Oh,
hear
we have
this.
this. We have the similars in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
yeah.
In Manila,
Yeah.
don't go to
Because-
Manila.
Yeah.
Because Moscow, it's not.
Yeah. Don't go to Mindanao because it's very dangerous. But
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
dangerous. you
But
know.
for example, me and my sister, we
Yeah.
lived in Moscow, and our parents, my father,
Mm.
yeah, he can call me and ask like, Zhenya, are you okay? Are you alive? Because in the news there is
Yes.
some things like, oh my God, people die in Moscow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Papa, all good, all good. Don't worry. So it's all about propaganda. But like I told you, I had this St. Petersburg between Novosibirsk and Moscow. So I was prepared, and I felt comfortable in Moscow, and but there is such a big difference in life in Novosibirsk and Moscow, even in St. Petersburg. But in St. Pete, it's somewhere in between, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But Moscow, it's she. I don't know if you have
yeah.
genders of words,
Ah.
but Moscow, it's she.
Yeah.
It's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
yeah.
one question for I have that question. Why do you call Russia Mother Russia?
Yeah, because it's she.
Yeah,
it's a
it's a she,
woman.
so
it's a
yeah,
woman.
Russia, it's a
Okay.
woman.
Oh, we don't have this.
We don't have
For
this
example, St.
for us.
Petersburg
Yeah.
or Novosibirsk, it's a man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Moscow, it's woman.
Yeah.
So what
Why?
are the characteristics that you would
Yeah,
attribute as a
exactly.
he and a she?
Yeah.
Sorry?
How do you describe it as a he? Like what? Why is it a he
Why
and
is it
why
a
is
he?
it a she?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because of the map, it has something like.
What?
No.
By the way, shout out to of W Hawks and Michael Fillon.
You?
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah, and Mox Santos.
Mox, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
explain more. Why? Do you have any idea why they call it like a he or a she?
No, it's all about words. It's some.
Ah.
It's the language itself.
The
It's
language,
not
okay.
about. Yeah, it's not about cities, but
Yeah.
you know
That's
about
interesting.
Moscow. When you, for example, when we talk about Moscow, I mean among Russians, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we call it she, and we feel it like it's a
Yeah.
woman. She's rich and she's so beautiful.
I think we refer Philippines as inang bayan. So it's
Yeah.
What is it?
it's inang
Yeah,
is
mother.
mother.
Mother
Yeah.
country.
So
Okay.
we refer it as a she as well.
But
Inang
what about
bayan.
Manila? Is it she or he?
No.
I
There's
think
no.
it's gay.
Yeah.
We don't have
No,
anything.
no.
Because Manila is colorful.
Yes,
Yeah.
colorful. It's very
Wow.
all over the place.
Diverse.
Yeah.
Diverse,
Which
yeah.
is really true.
Thanks
Yeah.
for helping me, Tita
Yeah.
Jan. Gago.
But to let you know, Manila in Russian it's she.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
How do you know?
I don't
Like,
know.
It's a sound or
Yeah, it's because it ends it ends with a.
A?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's female gender.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not about the
I get
city itself, and I have never been to Manila,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it's female.
So how about Dubai? Is there a gender as well? Like do you? No.
It's the
there's-
language. It's
The language.
If
Okay.
it ends in
Ah.
a, it
Yeah.
sounds feminine.
So it's when it's
That's
okay.
good.
It sounds
Okay.
feminine.
Okay,
when it ends
got
with
it.
A.
So it's all about
I think, but
language.
because I heard the first time I heard about this is in
Me too.
Spanish. Because in
Spanish.
Spanish
True.
they have
Yes.
they have words that are feminine and words that are
In
masculine.
Arabic as well.
So paella is
Exactly.
feminine.
Okay.
Paella, feminine.
Paella.
Yeah, paella.
Paella.
Excuse me. Paella.
Paella.
Excuse. Paella.
So
Paella.
okay. So
Okay.
since we're talking about food,
Oh
No,
yes.
since we are talking about language, because for me it's
Language,
such
okay.
an interesting topic, and you
Yeah.
know that Russian language it sounds
Yeah.
so, it's a bit rough.
Yeah.
Well, why?
Is it
Yeah.
for you?
Not really.
Yeah?
I mean, like,
Mm,
maybe in movies, like you know, the villain is like always Russian.
Yeah, I can.
okay, give us an example since your name is Evgenia,
Right.
Yeah,
which
Evgenia.
is
And yeah.
very feminine
And how come?
ending in A.
And how come you don't talk this accent? Like, why you don't talk this accent? Why? Why? You're supposed to be from Russia.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Like every time, like movies are pertain Russian people, they always are the villain.
Yeah,
They're
like
always
in
the villain. Why
Hollywood.
is it? Yeah,
Hollywood.
what do you yeah, Hollywood.
I don't know. Yeah, this stereotype of Russian person exists
Yeah.
worldwide. I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Maybe we have some some origin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So about vodka, drugs, mafia.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
Give me-
This accent. Well, you don't have it.
Yeah. What do you think of like what does the general public thinks about this thing?
We are okay with it.
Ah,
No,
okay.
as any nationality,
Mm.
Maybe you have also some.
Yeah, we have,
stereotypes,
like,
because I
Yeah.
don't know about
Yeah.
it.
A
Maids
lot.
and
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
stereotype, but
Yeah.
That's true. We
With
don't
But
really.
it's not
Yeah.
bad.
We're not
right?
offended
It's
by
we're
not
not offended,
Yeah.
but like, yeah. Nurses,
Yeah,
we're always
nurses,
the
yeah.
nurse.
bad.
True.
I think it's good. It's even. It's
I
not
mean,
bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
people are responsible and people
Yeah.
are good to.
I think
deal with.
certain stereotypes has like good and bad side
Yeah,
effects to
yeah,
it.
maybe.
So
Just depends on how you're gonna
Yeah.
take it.
Yes,
really.
exactly.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
better than vodka. I guess. And the
Tea.
mafia,
Exactly.
and when people don't trust Russians, don't trust
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
sometimes
Hmm.
like they always cheat. Okay,
Oh.
Yeah.
they have nothing to do with it. Okay, so we cheat. Okay.
Also,
Okay.
when we were talking about one time we were talking about in the Soviet Union time,
Mm.
like you mentioned, like you're not allowed to be loud and to be noise or something like this.
Yeah, it's all about stereotypes. Maybe kinda, but in
Yeah.
our country, yeah.
Can you explain?
inside.
Can you explain more?
You know, I told you about our parents, yeah, about this generation of my parents, and it's so from the Soviet Union. Like they always think what people think about them.
Mm.
Mm.
Don't be loud. Be
Yeah.
quiet. Our neighbors,
Ah.
they
Okay.
can hear it. Don't be loud. Don't. It's all about. It's
Yeah.
and my mom even now.
Yeah.
And
It's all about
sometimes-
what others think.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
understand. So
Like
you're concerned about being
okay.
your
Yeah,
manners.
exactly.
Okay.
For example, like I'm. There is one woman and she's unhappy with
Yeah.
her husband, but
Yeah.
but they don't get divorced because why
Yeah.
because
You
what
have
people
you have divorce.
What
You have
would people
divorce.
think?
yeah what people yeah we have divorces
Okay.
and it's okay to get divorced but this generation they were not allowed to divorce
Yeah.
because they are concerned about the
What others people
think, yeah.
opinion
Yeah.
about it. They don't.
So it's
they
not a
didn't-
religious thing. It's not
No,
a
not
religious
at all,
thing.
not at
It's
all.
it's a cultural thing for
Yeah,
the
now it's. I know that it's a lot of divorces because people now they're getting more and more free.
yeah.
Yeah, they
The new
they live
generation.
to be happy, not to think about what people think about
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So you're saying like for this generation, when even if someone is suffering with this marriage, they will not divorce because
Yeah.
they're married because
Mm.
that's how it is.
and I remember it was my question to one woman, and why didn't you get divorced? He is so bad.
Uh-huh.
And she answered like, I got married not to get divorced.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because sorry,
I
I
can't
cannot. I
imagine,
cannot
yeah.
because I got
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
because this generation they have these mindsets and
But it is the old generation.
Yeah.
exactly,
The
yeah.
older
And
generation,
these nowadays, these teenagers, for example, they are so lucky to be free. They are so lucky to think out of the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Is this the teaching of this Soviet Union time, or what is it about? Is there a law that they followed or a rule,
yeah.
I think it's just like
a propaganda?
for the old people. Like,
Yeah.
ah,
It's a
tradition.
generational
Yeah.
thing.
It's a long time or long
Yeah.
tradition of
Mhm.
like
Mm.
following the steps or the
Yeah.
following the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
thing
exactly.
that
Yeah.
existed before, and then like they don't have a choice to just to follow it. Like
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was so comfortable for the government. Yeah, people follow the rules.
Yes.
Yeah, people don't think they don't turn on their brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good just to follow the rules. But now people get wiser, people get smarter, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy for my country, for my people.
That's good. Yeah.
That's nice.
What about anything tradition that you?
You still-
Speaking
Traditions.
of
Yeah, yeah.
traditions,
Okay.
like what are the traditions that you have?
Maybe the main difference and the biggest tradition in Russia, it's the New Year. For us, it's the main holiday.
So this is bigger
Okay.
than Christmas.
of course.
But you don't celebrate Christmas?
Christmas, it's so, I don't know how to call it. It's like so intimate. Can I say?
Ah,
Like
okay.
this? It's
Yeah.
so
Families.
yeah, so
Solemn,
for family.
family.
and
But this is the 25th.
25th? No,
December
but we
10th.
are Orthodox.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
January
So we have
2.
7.
January 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
January
our Christmas is on the 7th of January, and
Ah.
yeah, some families, for example, my mom, she likes celebrating it, but
Mm.
my mom, she likes gathering us
Yeah.
together. That's
Yeah.
why she likes it.
Yeah.
But I
So
know
there's no December 25 at all
not at
celebration.
all,
No,
no.
not at
maybe
all.
now because we are closer to Europe. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we
yeah.
feel something special in the
This
air.
is the 25, yeah.
but-
25 of December.
Especially now with all the tourists coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But not to Novosibirsk, of course, because Novosibirsk it's not touristic city. It's so far away from everything.
So they're more
But Moscow,
traditional.
yeah, Moscow,
It's great.
Moscow. It's a lot. It's all about marketing. Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
about money. So people
definitely.
celebrate
Mhm.
any holiday.
And how do you celebrate New Year? If
Yeah,
you-
since you talked about
Yes.
that, it's the biggest holiday.
Do you have like plapla or levantador in Russia?
Cinturon ni
Cinturon ni
Cinturon ni
Judas.
Judas.
Firecrackers.
Firecrackers.
What?
Fireworks.
Fireworks.
Fireworks, yeah.
Fireworks. Yeah.
Homemade.
Yeah.
Homemade fire.
Yes.
Watusi, you know?
Yes.
Fireworks like AK-47?
What?
Kalashnikov?
Kalashnik.
No.
Dragunov.
Smirnov. What else?
So, what are the traditions? Yeah.
Yeah, traditions for the New Year.
For the
of
New
course, the main tradition is to gather together. It's very family holiday.
Any specific
okay.
food?
Yeah, it's all the best food ever. So and the table is always full of food. Like
Yeah.
we can eat through all the night, maybe and
Do you have
plus several
Do you have
days.
something like a specific dish that explains how will the next year will come? Like for example, we have like malagkit.
Oh,
It explains that it's
Sticky rice.
sticky
Sticky
rice.
rice,
So it's supposed to explain that
sticky rice.
family will stick will,
together.
will
Stick
stick
together.
together or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like
that's
we
true.
have
Yeah.
noodles.
Sticky rice
Noodles.
is the
pancit.
sticky rice is
Pancit.
the glutinous rice.
Yes.
Glutinous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm trying to remember, trying to recall, but maybe about champagne. We have one tradition about champagne. So, I have too much information. I need to filter it. So, imagine
yes.
Okay.
imagine the night. It's a table full of food.
Yeah.
Several dishes, and every New Year night, it's heading to midnight. right?
Okay. Yeah.
And Putin every year,
Yeah.
he's speaking to the nation.
Okay.
By
Yeah.
television.
Sauna.
Yeah, by
Wow.
television. It's like a tradition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you every year.
every year.
So everyone
Now
is
every year because
Before
Putin is-
midnight.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like maybe 10 minutes before the midnight.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's talking to us, and we are standing like this with a glass of
Champagne.
champagne.
Yes.
Okay.
But before, we need to take a sheet of paper and we need to write down some wishes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Then we need to burn. We need to burn this paper.
Yes.
what?
Yes.
Okay.
And to put in
The champagne?
And when it's exactly
Dissolve?
midnight.
Yeah.
And the bells
Ring?
ring. Yeah. We need to.
need to drink it.
empty the glass.
Oh,
The paper is dissolved on the champagne.
What?
So you have
it's like
the burnt paper.
burnt
in
paper.
Yeah,
Paper.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you need
So you
to
drink it like
swallow it. Yeah.
with the
with the black.
that's
yeah,
good.
that's the tradition. And
wow.
if
That's
you
I will do that. I will do that.
if you did it all in time,
Yeah.
all your wishes will come true.
Oh,
Whoa.
For the
wow.
year, nice.
Yeah.
In
That's
the
a good one.
Philippines,
Wait, I have
That's
a
a
question.
good one.
I have a question.
About
Since-
Putin.
Yeah, about that tradition.
Yeah.
Because Putin has been in
Putin,
power for.
Putin is a part of this tradition.
Yeah.
Ah, so
Already.
he actually started this, or has this been going on
Yeah.
before
Wow,
Putin?
yeah.
Of course, before.
Before,
Ah,
okay,
okay.
okay,
Okay.
But I told you about him because he has been running the country for so long.
Yes,
for so
long.
That's why I cannot.
How many
I
years
cannot
has
imagine
been?
this tradition without him.
How many years has been ruling the?
Do you remember?
ruling
Oh
Russia?
my
But
God, maybe
from the
maybe
90s,
for
but-
18 years.
18 years.
18
Oh.
years. Yeah.
and have your wishes come true?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Louis.
Okay, the next question. Yeah.
Yeah, the next question. Yeah, let's talk about next question. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, please.
Can you explain more about Russian food? Like I remember when I went to Russia, I cannot. I don't.
What's your staple?
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
cannot. I cannot specify which is
Yeah.
a Russian food.
You're right because
Because if you go to the Philippines, we have this
Yeah.
famous like adobo
Yeah.
and all this. If
Yeah, we eat all the time with rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
rice.
We
all
cannot
about
eat
rice.
without rice.
What
so
about in Russia?
rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I try to understand. I try to figure out about the Russian cuisine, Russian food, but as for me, it doesn't exist
Why?
because we have such a collection of different
Cultures and
different cuisines.
Mhm.
So and we call it Russian food.
Mm.
It's all about Ukraine.
How many countries were there in the Soviet Union?
Oh, I remember 15.
15.
Not
15.
countries, but of course they were different.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right. Now there are countries, 15 as I remember. Azerbaijan,
Wow.
Uzbekistan. But imagine a lot of different people with
Yeah.
their own culture.
Yeah.
So it's so
No, because
interesting.
I remember when I went to one time when I went to Uzbekistan, they have
Yeah.
this famous food called
Plov.
plov.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is not Russian. This
No,
is
not at all, not at all.
But
But,
it's also
if you go to some Russian restaurant,
Uh-huh.
you can
would serve
order
it.
plov.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
borscht also it's from the
Yeah, borscht
from
is very popular.
Ukraine.
What is
Yeah.
borscht? Can you explain that?
It's soup. Soup.
Mm.
Soup.
so
Soup,
So-
not soap.
for taking a bite.
Yeah, because Russian people they like eating soup.
Soup.
Soup,
yeah.
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 And
'Cause it's
borscht,
cold.
borscht, and it's red soup.
Yeah.
And why it's red? Because of the beetroot.
Oh,
Beetroot.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. That's
Okay.
why. So you can just add some beetroot, and you can call anything borscht.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do
But
you have
usually borscht
Should
is
try dinuguan.
borscht is served cold, right? Is it?
I'm not a pro in soups because I'm not a fan of.
Uh-huh,
But
okay.
no, as I remember, my mom, she cooked us hot borscht.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and
Ah.
we could warm it up. So
Ah, okay, okay.
I think we should try your
Cooking.
Cooking,
Cooking.
yeah, you know, I could. Yeah, I would be happy to bake blini.
Blini.
Yeah,
Yeah,
blini.
okay.
What is blini?
Pancakes.
Yeah, the small one.
Crepe.
Ah.
In France, it's
Yeah,
crepe,
yeah.
but it's
Mm.
they are thick.
Yeah.
Thick.
Thick and
Yeah.
small, right?
Not no. It's
Ah, they're
like
big.
this.
Okay, okay,
Radius
okay.
like pizza. No,
Mm.
maybe less. Like this.
like a
and
small
they're
pizza?
thick. Yeah, and it's so. I like it.
I think as part of this whole culture exchange series, we need to put in a law that the interviewees need to bring
Oh.
food.
Yes, yeah. Next
I
time.
think yeah.
Next
Maybe
time.
next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
You
Yeah,
will
yeah.
invite
Yes,
me.
Sure,
true.
sure, sure, yeah.
But is there anything like exotic that you know?
Yeah, what's the most
Yeah.
exotic food in Russia?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Because we have this in the
Philippines.
Philippines.
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, you know. Maybe I don't know how to explain, but it's all about meat. Maybe some exotic. I remember my papa, my
Yeah.
father. He cooked. I don't know, cow's chest. Do you know the name? Cow's chest.
The,
No.
No.
the heart? No.
Chest. I mean the breast. Breast.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cows
Okay.
from the cow.
Yeah,
you
the
can
udder,
milk
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Oh.
so he cooked this part.
Mm.
Also the tongue.
Tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we
yeah.
have that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, because for us, we boil the beef tongue For example, for the New Year,
Mm.
we can boil it
Okay,
and
okay.
we can serve it like beautifully.
Yeah.
So
Sliced.
I like that. I mean, we have that at home.
We have that as well. Like we call it lengua.
Lengua.
Lengua with
like language.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's the
Because
tongue.
yeah, the tongue. Yeah, that's why they call it
Play
lengua.
on words.
Okay.
Exactly.
So just talking about, traditions, is there any like superstition
Yeah.
that you have in your home country?
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
again, in the Philippines, you have a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't sweep the floor at night.
Yeah.
You can't cut your nails at night.
Yeah.
Because it's unlucky. apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything similar from
I remember
Russia?
when I was there.
Why were you there
you were
again?
there again.
No, in my
So
house.
many
In my house.
Okay.
You have a
I
house
was in my house.
Okay, my
no,
friend.
no.
in Russia?
When I was in Russia,
Okay.
I was. It's basically we're used to whistling
yeah.
anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't whistle. No, it's prohibited to whistle.
It's
Because-
prohibited to whistle.
Yeah, because
Why?
I remember my mom. She always asked my papa like, "Don't whistle. You, I don't know.
We'll
how
call the
to-
devil.
No.
You lose money.
You will
Yeah,
awaken
you
again.
you are losing money. Like money is
So that's the reason we're poor.
you keep on
Maybe that's
whistling.
why. Maybe that's
Money
why.
flow away from the apartment where
exactly.
you
Yeah, yeah.
whistle.
Oh, money's
Okay.
flying away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
fly away.
I think it's very similar with us, with the sweeping the floor at night,
Yeah.
Wow.
because you will sweep away the.
The luck
money.
and
The
the
luck,
money,
the
the,
luck, yeah.
fortune.
Yeah.
a lot
So,
of superstition, like a black cat,
Yeah, black cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
Broken mirror.
I don't know, broken.
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
broken mirror.
You also said like
Yeah,
You shouldn't keep broken mirrors at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't.
Or when you break the mirror,
Mhm.
it means like someone will die.
Oh, same. For us,
Yeah.
when you break a plate.
Plate.
Yeah.
No,
It's
Glassware.
someone
bad
Any
luck.
glassware, yeah.
Bad
not
luck.
die.
Exactly.
No. That's for the spoon and fork.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so emotional.
There's one more thing like when you drop a spoon or fork, a spoon,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
a woman
No, we have
will
this.
come.
They have the same.
One.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have the same.
You have the same.
Yeah, exactly. Knife, spoon, but it depends on the gender of the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoon, it's female.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Same. Yeah.
Mm.
Knife is a male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but we're not using knife. We have spoon.
Yeah, we only have
Ah,
spoon
yeah.
and forks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So forks
How
is a
come?
male, right?
If we
Yes.
if you drop the
Yes,
casserole,
yes.
your mother-in-law will come. so
You drop the pan.
don't drop
Never
the.
ever.
Never that. Never drop that.
Also, do you have this superstition about you cannot clean the house before if
Yeah. Every time, I remember my mom. She asked me, don't clean the house because our father, he has just left the apartment. For
Okay.
example, he's flying to to the
different city.
to some different city like next to Novosibirsk, but
Okay.
2 hours, on by air, and it's prohibited to clean the house during this time.
While he's flying.
Yeah, as soon as he calls,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I arrived.
Then you can
Clean.
clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because someone can happen.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. Yes.
Yeah, something can happen.
Something
can
bad
happen.
can happen.
So when you left, they weren't cleaning the house until you called them
Yeah,
that you're here in Dubai
exactly.
safe.
Oh.
Okay.
What if you spill something on the floor and then everything is messed
No.
up? You have
What
to
if you
wait.
use a cruise ship like 14 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's gonna clean the house.
No one is going to clean the house for 3 weeks.
Yeah. So how?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you go on a ship,
You should relax and forget about it.
don't clean.
I don't know.
Huh?
I have no
Alright,
experience.
Since we were talking about traditions, we
Yeah.
want to change gears a bit, like because these are like old traditions from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
With the new times, like now in this generation, obviously the Soviet Union was dissolved long time
Yeah.
ago. How
Almost
does,
almost 30 years ago.
almost 30 years, right? So how did the Western world influence the modern Russia now? Like how are the people that
Mhm.
your friends?
Mhm.
What do you do?
How are they
after-
accepting it as well.
Yeah.
What are the new traditions?
traditions or
Yeah.
like the normal things you do after work or during the weekends when you're not working, something like that. What's the
You know,
What's the
now
thing?
I think now we getting more and more like normal people. You know, and every time I come to my I come to my city, yeah, my native city. Um, I feel comfortable because people are relaxed, people are
Mhm.
chill, so they I don't feel this pressure
Yeah.
as it was. But anyway, as I told you, it's such a big difference between Moscow and between Moscow and the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we are getting normal. That's how I can answer this question.
Yeah.
This question. We are moving next to the rest of the world. We
Mhm.
are moving next to. We are. Um, we are going to. We are moving next to Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Maybe.
it's progressing. Especially
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
the country itself is
Yeah.
opening up, but
Yeah.
but before COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
Speaking of like accepting like the Western like culture and music and stuff like that, was there any band or song or any I don't know type of music that you like immediately what do you call it, accepted or
Do
something
you
like
remember
that?
this group, Modern Talking?
What is
Do
that?
you remember Sandra? It was
modern
like
talking.
90s.
Modern Talking?
I
Yeah.
Modern
remember this.
Talking. It
90s.
was crazy
90s band?
popular in
Really?
Russia.
Oh,
Even
yeah?
now,
Wow.
sometimes they come to Russia.
Uh-huh.
They just to earn some money because
Oh,
they are
yeah.
not popular
Yeah.
anywhere else. Yeah, only in Russia. But you know, in Russia, a lot of people they feel this nostalgia.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. They are nostalgic about the
Yeah.
Soviet
Yeah.
Union. So
Uh-huh.
many people, and it's like sometimes it's in the air. This
Yeah.
even my parents, they talk about like, but maybe it's the same in your country
Yeah,
when
of course.
Yeah.
these old people they can tell like, yeah, it used to be better,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but now
Exactly. Yeah.
it's different.
I think
Mhm.
anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
people think that
Yeah.
the older days were better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
as I remember, it's like a sign you are getting older, and
Yeah.
you start talking
Yeah.
Yeah.
about these things
Yeah.
like
About the past.
Yeah.
exactly.
So going back to my question as well, like a while ago, like how was the transfer here from Russia to Dubai?
To
Like
hear.
Yeah.
was it really difficult for you? For example,
Mm.
like because of the weather or
Yes.
something like that. Like how was your
Especially the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, now I've been experiencing this the hottest weather I think in
Yes.
my life. So for me,
It's going to be hot, more
Yeah,
more hot
even
like
more.
no,
next
I
month.
don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
accept because
August.
people, yeah.
It will be.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
August.
how if it's already 45?
Yep.
50.
Yeah. It's gonna
50
feel like
plus.
52 or
No.
something like that.
No,
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine that. That's my reaction.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's easier to accept like minus 45, not
Yeah.
not plus 45.
You'll see. You'll see.
Just
You'll
like
feel
we
it.
can't imagine minus 40 as well.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So emotionally, it was easy. It was
Yeah, of course.
quite
Yeah, Tito
comfortable.
Luis.
What?
What?
But maybe geographically, I feel a bit far away from my people. But it's okay. I have so good support. I mean, emotional support.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But maybe I will share some feelings about the weather later. Okay, in September.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess since you've lived in Moscow and it is a big city,
Yeah.
you've seen a part of, I guess, Dubai, because Dubai is such a
Yeah,
big
Dubai.
exactly.
You know, for me, Dubai is so. How did you call Manila? Colorful and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diverse.
yeah,
Yeah.
Diverse.
exactly,
Yeah.
diverse.
Such a
Uh-huh.
diverse.
So it's so
Actually.
different, and I cannot catch the architecture. I mean, the style.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
no style.
Yeah.
That is
Oh.
true.
Yeah.
Here
It
in
a
Dubai.
lot of
evolves.
people.
It
Yeah.
evolves so much.
And
so
I like
good.
that there are a lot of nationalities, and
Yeah.
they deal with each other so good. So
This must be one of the biggest difference because I don't think there's a lot of expats
yeah, there
in
are.
Moscow
There are.
as much
Yeah.
as here.
Like,
Yeah, there
Have
are
you
a lot
have
of
you met
Europeans.
a Filipino in Moscow though? Like,
Sorry, how?
have you met a Filipino?
Uh,
There are a lot of
Russia.
Filipinos in
You know,
Moscow.
before the moving to here,
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Philippine.
Oh, you didn't know
Yeah.
it's a
at
country?
all.
Is that a country?
Oh, wow.
You know, once I remember.
It's a virus.
Oh,
So
okay.
how, like
It's a country.
I remember one story from my life when I was in Rome in Italy, and
yeah.
I got acquainted with one beautiful woman, and I asked her, "Where are you from?"
Mm.
And she told like, "I'm from the Philippines." And I
What is the Philippines?
yeah,
Oh,
I was like,
really? Okay.
okay, but where is it? So, and she was so welcoming, and she was so
Okay.
warm-hearted, and for me it was this aftertaste. It was so good, and I decided like, okay, all people from the Philippines, they are like this,
Kind
and I was not
people.
mistaken.
Really?
Mm.
Really?
So you haven't met Mark Ganson? You haven't met him.
Yeah, the real Mark Hanson.
Mark Ganson.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, but you never met a Filipino in Russia, inside.
I'm not sure. Maybe
not
I
sure.
didn't notice these
Oh.
people,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think these people they are everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean,
We
they
are. We are
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We're like mushrooms. We're everywhere.
Which kind of mushrooms?
The good ones.
good
of
ones, the
course.
best ones.
Of course, the best ones.
The most delicious.
The most delicious.
The magical.
Magical ones.
The colorful
Of
ones.
course. Magical,
Magical
ones.
mushrooms. I think
Yeah.
it's
So
a
you
good
have-
name for music band. Magical mushrooms.
Yeah.
True.
Genia, do you have any questions to for us or
Yeah.
like do you want to know something or
Or rather, like, since now you're in Dubai and
Yeah.
you are surrounded basically with our Filipinos,
Yeah.
anything you
You know, I counted us 11 people plus.
you cannot say that. No, we're only
no?
We're only five.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
we're only five here.
Sorry.
Five here. No
Only
people around.
Yeah, I
no
meant
people.
five.
Yeah.
Five,
Okay.
yeah. So did you notice anything like the difference with the culture, the
And the
Filipinos,
similarities.
the similarities?
We are people.
Yeah?
We are human beings.
Yes, of course.
No, I mean
Culturally, yeah.
Culturally.
like for example, like sometimes when we have this certain Filipino thing like we call like you call a person like psst, like this.
Yeah, we also call this, but not pss, pss. For us. It's like shut up.
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, like no.
Ah.
So it's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And sometimes we talk in by eyes. Like this.
Yeah.
Yes, ice language.
No,
Yeah,
no,
like-
it's not going to work. The pointing of the mouth.
The mouth.
Yeah, the mouth.
We cannot use because we're wearing masks, so it's not
Do you
going
have
to work. for us now.
you have
Yeah.
similar like we're pointing something there.
Yeah.
I remember the first time when I saw this.
And then,
It was what? What is it? What's wrong with your mouth?
So yeah, do you have any
Fun.
questions for us or?
But it's
Like
so
a little bit-
good.
yeah.
It's so Filipino. And
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like a friend of mine when he sees me in the metro, he
Yeah.
would just in the crowd of people would say, "Psst." and then
Everyone will look.
all the
Yeah.
Filipinos would
All
look.
the
Filipinos,
Filipinos.
All the Filipinos would.
So you
look.
can count them. Like, 1, 2, 3. 13 people
Yeah,
look at.
so-
Yes, about the differences between us. Maybe you are more open to this world, but
Mm.
maybe historically, emotionally, we are a bit inside of.
Mm.
But we change.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people change, and you are more. Maybe you are more prepared to this this world, but we are not. Maybe.
No, it's
But-
changing. It's changing.
By the way,
Tara.
to interject, the celebration of like the anniversary of diplomatic relationships with Russia
with
was last July too. So
With the Philippines.
with the Philippines.
with the Philippines,
Wow.
Russia Philippines relationship, like, you know.
Wow, nice.
relationship.
July
So
2nd.
So we
it's
have
in-
relationship.
yeah, it's in this episode as well. It's, like,
Yeah, good
it's
talk.
in line with the episode.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's nice.
Anything
So-
anything else you want to
Yeah.
want to say and
I don't know.
or maybe invite people in Russia like how it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Like,
No, because when I went there, it was so fine and it was relatively safe.
It was, yeah, it is. In Moscow, it's relatively safe, and you know, a lot of different people here, there. So, and I don't know what to say. I think cultural differences, cultural exchange, it's something very productive, and it's
Yeah.
it's so progressive,
Mhm.
and we don't need to be close, and
Yes.
we need. Yeah, and we need to accept these good possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
agree.
That's why that's the reason why we're doing like these kinds of episodes, so that we can like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
exchange
good.
ideas,
So
you
good.
know,
Talking
like
about the
culture.
differences.
I can
Cultural
add
stuff.
something whenever, for example, when I went to Siberia, uh, uh, I always underestimate the cold. You shouldn't. You shouldn't underestimate the cold. It's cold.
And you
You should
didn't.
prepare. That's it. You should,
So it bothered you.
no,
But
no.
The
I mean,
cold bothered you anyway. Yeah.
And not only cold.
Sorry.
Yeah, and also you.
I will go
you
now.
underestimated the ice. Remember?
the ice also. Yeah, there's a difference between the ice in Moscow and the ice in Siberia.
Yeah.
Because,
Because in Moscow it's all covered with something like sand, maybe,
Oh yeah.
or some chemicals.
Oh, yeah?
But in Novosibirsk the budget is not so big as in Moscow, and people just fall down. Yeah, a
So
lot of
it's so
people.
slippery.
Yeah.
oh,
it's
so you
very-
mean, so you mean the
Oh.
government in Moscow, they're always trying to clean up the
Of course,
Okay,
of
okay,
course.
okay.
Moscow, it's so touristic place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Mm.
capital city, so it needs to be beautiful. It
Uh-huh.
needs to be clean.
Uh-huh.
It needs to be tidy.
So if you go to Siberia, you always
Yeah, and
there
if
you will
you
see the
if you want to feel the Russia itself,
Yeah.
the real Russia, so you need to go to Siberia and further.
Yeah.
Just imagine Russia. It's 8,008. Yeah, I made 8,000 kilometers from west to east, and 4,000 kilometers from the north
My
to the
God.
south.
So
Imagine.
yeah,
Can you imagine?
No.
So big.
no,
Crazy.
Yeah,
We're
crazy.
it's crazy
From,
big.
from a small
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
country, so
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
So
people.
yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Miss Genia.
Yeah.
Genia.
Thank
you.
For guesting on our
Yeah.
episode. This is our first episode of the Cultural Exchange
Thank you
episode.
for having me.
Cultural Exchange series of the
Spasiba.
Hellomamsir show. Spasiba, right?
Spasiba.
Yes.
Spasiba.
Thank you so much for listening on the Hellomamsir show. You can listen to the on the episode on youtube.com/Hellomamsir show,
I'm
facebook.com/Hellomamsir
smiling. I'm
show.
smiling.
Instagram, Twitter, Twitter. You can listen to it on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and whenever you stream, wherever you stream your podcast. So yeah, I'm your favorite Tito, Epi. yeah, I'm your favorite Tito Epi.
Tito Daryl.
Tito Luis,
Tita Jaja.
special guest.
Yeah,
Tita
and
Zhenya. Tita.
Thank you.
Tita. Exactly. Tita Zhenya.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mamsir Show.